Every civilization that has ever gazed up at the stars has asked the same questions. Where did we come from? Why are we here? And perhaps the most daunting question of all, how will it all end? This is a story that has been whispered around campfires for millennia. It has been etched into stone tablets and written in sacred scriptures. It's, honestly, a fundamental part of the human experience to contemplate our own conclusion. We seem to be the only species on this planet aware of our own mortality, and so we project that awareness onto the world itself, imagining a final, dramatic curtain call for all of existence. This fascination with the end is not, born from a place of pure fear. It is also a story of hope, of justice, and of renewal. Within these epic tales of destruction, we often find the promise of a new beginning, a better world built from the ashes of the old. These narratives provide a framework for our lives, giving meaning to our struggles and a sense of ultimate purpose to the universe. They are grand, cosmic dramas in which humanity plays a central role. From the thundering pronouncements of prophets to the quiet calculations of scientists, the story of the end is a story about us. Across cultures and through the ages, the answers to this final question have been remarkably diverse, yet they often share common threads. There are visions of divine judgment, of cosmic cycles turning, and of saviors arriving in humanity's darkest hour. These stories speak to our deepest anxieties about chaos and our most profound hopes for order and redemption. They are, really, the ultimate blockbusters of the human imagination, filled with heroes, villains, and cataclysmic events that dwarf anything we experience in our daily lives. They serve as warnings, as promises, and as a way to make sense of a universe that can often feel random and indifferent. So, let us embark on a journey through faith, myth, and science. We will explore the visions of prophets who saw the heavens torn asunder and the dead rise for a final reckoning. We will delve into the cosmic calendars of ancient sages who saw time not as a straight line, but as an endless circle of birth, death, and rebirth. And we will listen to the modern oracles, the scientists, who predict endings born not of divine will, but of cosmic chance or human folly. This is the story of how our world might end. In the Christian tradition, the story of the end is a powerful and cinematic vision of divine judgment. It is a tale of tribulation, resurrection, and the ultimate triumph of good over evil. At the heart of this eschatology lies the final book of the New Testament, the Book of Revelation. Attributed to the Apostle John, it's not a straightforward historical account but a series of profound symbolic visions. It is a prophecy that has captivated and terrified believers for nearly 2,000 years, painting a picture of a world plunged into chaos before its final, glorious renewal. The book describes a period of intense suffering on earth, known as the Great Tribulation. During this time, the seals of a divine scroll are broken, unleashing a sequence of catastrophic events upon the world. Plagues, famines, wars, and natural disasters will test the faith of humanity. It is a time when the forces of darkness, led by a charismatic and deceptive figure known as the Antichrist, will rise to power, demanding worship and persecuting those who remain faithful to God. This period is depicted as the ultimate crucible, a final, desperate struggle between the forces of light and the armies of shadow for the soul of the world. Central to this narrative is the concept of the rapture, a belief held by many Christians that the faithful will be taken up into heaven before the worst of the tribulation begins. Following this period of chaos, Christ is prophesied to return to earth in glory, not as a humble savior, but as a conquering king. He will defeat the Antichrist and his armies in a final decisive battle at a place called Armageddon. This event marks the end of the reign of evil and ushers in a 1,000-year period of peace on earth, known as the Millennium, where Christ will rule directly over the nations. The story culminates in the final judgment. After the 1,000-year reign, Satan is released for one last rebellion, which is swiftly crushed. Then, all the dead from throughout history are resurrected to stand before God's great white throne. Each person is judged according to their deeds, their names sought in the book of life. Those who are found righteous are granted entry into a new heaven and a new earth, a restored paradise free from suffering, death, and sin. It is a powerful conclusion, promising that despite the terror and chaos, the ultimate end is one of perfect justice and eternal peace. Among the most iconic and chilling images from the Book of Revelation are the four horsemen of the apocalypse. They are the first wave of judgment, unleashed upon the earth as the first four of seven seals are broken. Each rider and their horse are symbolic, representing a different facet of the suffering that will define the end times. They are not random agents of chaos, but instruments of a divine plan, harbingers whose arrival signals that the final chapter of human history has begun. Their ride across the world is a dramatic and terrifying proclamation that the time of reckoning is at hand. The first horseman rides a white horse. He is given a crown and a bow, and he rides forth conquering and to conquer. This figure is often interpreted as the Antichrist, a deceptive leader who brings a false peace and unifies the world under his rule, a conquest that sets the stage for the horrors to come. Others see him as a symbol of warfare or the spread of a false gospel. His appearance is seductive and powerful, a perfect disguise for the devastation he heralds. He represents the beginning of the sorrows, the calm before the storm of divine wrath is fully unleashed upon a deceived world. Next comes the second horseman, astride a fiery red horse. He is given a great sword and the power to take peace from the earth, so that people should slay one another. This rider is the unambiguous embodiment of war and civil strife. His arrival shatters the false peace brought by the first rider, plunging nations into brutal conflict. He represents the breakdown of society, the turning of neighbor against neighbor, and the bloodshed that has stained so much of human history, now amplified to a global, cataclysmic scale. The red color of his horse evokes the blood that will be spilled in his wake. Following the red horse is a rider on a black horse, holding a pair of scales in his hand. A voice calls out, dictating the price of wheat and barley, symbolizing economic collapse and devastating famine. This third horseman represents scarcity and the hardship that follows in the wake of war. The scales signify strict rationing, where basic food becomes a luxury that the common person can barely afford. He paints a grim picture of a world where the fundamental necessities of life are stripped away, leading to widespread starvation and desperation, while luxuries like oil and wine remain untouched for the wealthy. Finally, the fourth horseman appears, riding a pale horse. His name is Death, and Hades, the realm of the dead, follows close behind him. He is given authority over a quarter of the earth to kill with sword and with famine and with pestilence and by wild beasts of the earth. This final horseman is the culmination of the previous three, embodying the ultimate consequence of conquest, war, and famine. He is the Grim Reaper on a global scale, a terrifying specter of mortality whose work completes the initial wave of catastrophic judgment, leaving a trail of death and sorrow across the planet. In Islam, the end of the world is known as Yawm al-Qiyamah, the Day of Resurrection. It is a core tenet of faith, a final inevitable event for which all of humanity will be held accountable. Like other Abrahamic traditions, Islamic eschatology is rich with prophecies and signs that will precede the final hour. These signs are divided into two categories, minor and major. The minor signs are events that occur throughout history, subtly indicating that the end is drawing nearer. They include the decay of moral values, the rise of ignorance, and social upheaval, many of which believers see unfolding in the world today. The major signs, however, are unmistakable and cataclysmic portents that will occur in rapid succession, signaling the imminent end of the world as we know it. These are not subtle shifts, but dramatic world-altering events that will leave no one in doubt that the final hour is upon them. Among these signs are the rising of the sun from the west, a fundamental reversal of the natural order that signifies the closing of the door of repentance. There will also be the emergence of a creature known as the Beast of the Earth, or Dabat al-Ard, which will speak to people and mark the believers from the non-believers. Perhaps the most feared of the major signs is the arrival of a tyrannical figure known as the Masih ad-Dajjal, the false Messiah, or Antichrist. The Dajjal is described as a powerful and charismatic deceiver who will emerge during a time of great turmoil. He will possess incredible powers, performing what appear to be miracles, such as healing the sick and bringing rain to barren lands. He will claim divinity and gather a massive following, leading many astray with his promises of paradise on earth. His reign will be a time of the greatest trial and temptation humanity has ever faced. The Dajjal's tyranny will spread across the globe, but he will be unable to enter the sacred cities of Mecca and Medina. His time of dominance, however, will be limited. The prophecies state that he will rule for 40 days, with one day being like a year, one like a month, one like a week, and the rest like normal days. His appearance is the ultimate test of faith, a final, terrible filter to separate the true believers from those who are swayed by worldly power and deception. His reign marks the darkest moment before the dawn of the final victory of good. Just as the world seems to be completely lost under the Dajjal's rule, Islamic prophecy foretells the coming of two righteous leaders who will confront him. The first is the Mahdi, which means the rightly guided one. He is described as a descendant of the Prophet Muhammad, who will emerge to unite the Muslim world and restore justice and equity to the earth. The Mahdi will be a just and noble leader, not a prophet, but a caliph, who will rule according to Islamic law, preparing the world for the events that are to follow. His arrival will be a beacon of hope for believers in a time of overwhelming darkness. The second, and even more significant event, is the return of Isa, the Arabic name for Jesus. In Islamic belief, Jesus was not crucified, but was raised to heaven by God, and he will return to earth near the end of time. His descent is one of the most definitive major signs. He will appear in Damascus, his hands resting on the shoulders of two angels. He will not bring a new religion but will return as a follower of the Prophet Muhammad, upholding the law of Islam. His primary mission will be to confront and defeat the Dajjal, bringing an end to his reign of terror and deception. The final confrontation will be a dramatic battle. The Mahdi will be leading the Muslim army in prayer when Isa descends. Together they will lead the forces of good against the Dajjal and his followers. According to the prophecies, Isa will kill the Dajjal with his own hands, and at the sight of their leader's demise, the Dajjal's army will be utterly defeated. This victory marks the end of the great trial, and ushers in a period of unprecedented peace, justice, and prosperity on earth, under the righteous rule of Isa, a golden age before the final moments of the world. After this era of peace, the final events will unfold. The trumpet will be sounded by the angel Israfil, a blast so powerful that all living things on earth will die. A second sounding of the trumpet will signal the resurrection of all souls from the beginning of time. Every human being will be brought forth to stand before God for the day of judgment. Each individual's deeds, good and bad, will be weighed on a divine scale. Those whose good deeds outweigh the bad will be granted entry into Jannah, or paradise, while those whose deeds are wanting will face the punishment of Jahannam or hell, a final eternal accounting for a life lived. In contrast to the linear, one-time apocalypse of the Abrahamic faiths, the Hindu worldview sees time as cyclical. There is not one end of the world, but many. The universe is engaged in an immense, endless dance of creation, preservation, and destruction, governed by the supreme being, Brahman. This cosmic cycle is measured in vast units of time called yugas. A full cycle, known as a Mahayuga, or Great Age, is composed of 4 distinct yugas, each progressively shorter and marked by a decline in righteousness, morality, and human lifespan. It's a vision of time so vast it makes human history seem like the blink of an eye. The first age is the Satya Yuga, or the Age of Truth. This is a golden age where humanity is righteous, wise, and lives in perfect harmony with the divine. There is no crime, no poverty, and no disease. Humans are said to live for 100,000 years, and their spiritual connection to the universe is pure and unbroken. This is the peak of existence, a time of unparalleled peace and virtue. But like all things in this cosmic dance, it is not meant to last. The cycle must turn, and the purity of the world must begin its long, slow decline into darkness. Following the Satya Yuga is the Treta Yuga, where virtue decreases by 1/4. Rituals and sacrifices are introduced as a means to attain divine favor, which was once achieved through pure meditation alone. The human lifespan shortens, and the seeds of conflict and desire begin to sprout. The third age is the Dvapara Yuga, where virtue and sin are in equal measure. Knowledge becomes divided, and the Vedas are compiled to help humanity understand righteousness. Human lifespans are shorter still, and conflict, disease, and discontent become commonplace features of life. Each Mahayuga lasts for 4.32 million human years. 1,000 of these Mahayugas make up just one day of Brahma, a period of 4.32 billion years. At the end of this day, a partial dissolution known as a pralaya occurs, where the three worlds, earth, the heavens, and the netherworld, are consumed by fire and water, and all life is destroyed. The universe then enters a night of Brahma, a period of cosmic rest of the same duration. When Brahma awakens, he creates the world anew, and the cycle of yugas begins once more, an eternal rhythm of cosmic birth, life, death, and rebirth. We are, according to Hindu scriptures, currently living in the fourth and final age, the Kali Yuga. This is the age of darkness, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. It is the lowest point in the cosmic cycle, characterized by the near-total erosion of dharma, or righteousness. In this age, virtue is diminished to just 1/4 of its original strength. Human beings are dominated by greed, anger, and ignorance. Rulers become unreasonable, wealth is seen as the only virtue, and spiritual life all but disappears. The human lifespan is short, and our connection to the divine is at its most tenuous. The scriptures paint a bleak picture of the Kali Yuga. It is a time when people will be judged by their wealth and power, rather than their wisdom and character. The sacred traditions will be forgotten, and relationships will break down. Nature itself will rebel against human corruption, with widespread famine, drought, and natural disasters. It is an age of suffering and spiritual decay, where the forces of darkness seem to hold complete sway over the world. This description, written thousands of years ago, is seen by many believers as a startlingly accurate reflection of our modern world's challenges. But even at the darkest point of the Kali Yuga, there is a promise of renewal. The scriptures prophesy that at the very end of this age, when the world is steeped in utter chaos and evil, a savior will appear. The 10th and final avatar of the god Vishnu, known as Kalki, will descend to earth. He is described as a warrior on a white horse, wielding a blazing sword. His mission is to destroy the wicked, eradicate the forces of evil, and protect the few righteous people who remain in the world. He is the great reset button of the cosmos. After Kalki has purged the world of evil, the Kali Yuga will end, and a new Satya Yuga, a new golden age, will dawn. The cycle will begin anew. This destruction is not a final end, but a necessary purification, a cosmic cleansing that allows for a fresh start. Kalki's arrival represents the ultimate triumph of Dharma over Adharma, of order over chaos. It is a powerful message of hope, assuring that no matter how dark the world becomes, divine intervention will ultimately restore balance and usher in a new era of truth and righteousness, restarting the great cosmic clock. Science, our modern method of divination, offers its own set of apocalyptic scenarios. These are not born of divine prophecy, but of physical laws, astronomical observation, and statistical probability. Perhaps the most cinematic of these threats comes from space. An asteroid or comet impact, like the one that likely wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago, remains a tangible possibility. A large enough impactor could trigger global firestorms, mega tsunamis, and a cosmic winter by throwing enough dust into the atmosphere to block out the sun, leading to a collapse of the food chain and mass extinction. Another category of threat comes not from the cosmos, but from our own planet. Supervolcanoes, such as the one lurking beneath Yellowstone National Park, pose a catastrophic risk. An eruption would be thousands of times more powerful than a conventional volcano, spewing vast quantities of ash and sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere. This would create a volcanic winter, drastically cooling the planet for years, devastating global agriculture, and threatening the survival of civilization. It is a geological time bomb, ticking silently beneath our feet, a reminder of the immense and untamable power of the Earth itself. Yet, perhaps the most immediate and plausible threats are the ones we have created ourselves. The specter of global nuclear war, a defining fear of the 20th century, has not disappeared. A full-scale exchange between nuclear powers would not only cause unimaginable immediate destruction, but could also trigger a nuclear winter, with similar climate-altering effects to an asteroid impact, leading to global famine. Furthermore, the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence presents a new and uncertain existential risk. The creation of a superintelligence that we cannot control could lead to unforeseen and potentially catastrophic outcomes for humanity. Finally, there is the slow creeping apocalypse of climate change. Unlike the sudden shock of an asteroid, this is a crisis unfolding in slow motion. Rising global temperatures are leading to more extreme weather events, rising sea levels, disruptions to agriculture, and mass displacement of populations. If left unchecked, it could destabilize global civilization, leading to resource wars, famine, and the collapse of ecosystems we depend on for survival. In the scientific view, the end may not come with a bang of divine wrath, but with the quiet hum of rising temperatures and the consequences of our own actions. When we look at these stories side by side, from the trumpets of revelation to the cycles of the Yugas to the cold calculations of science, we see more than just predictions of doom. We see a reflection of ourselves. These narratives, whether sacred or secular, are a mirror to humanity's deepest hopes and fears. They are an attempt to impose meaning on a vast and often chaotic universe, to find our place within a grand cosmic story. The fear of a final meaningless end is countered by the hope for justice, renewal, and a new beginning. The religious visions in particular speak to a profound human desire for accountability. The idea of a final judgment, where every deed is weighed and every injustice is rectified, is a powerful source of comfort and a moral compass. It promises that in the end, the tyrants and the wicked will face consequences and the righteous and the suffering will be rewarded. This belief gives purpose to struggle and meaning to morality. It assures us that our choices matter, not just in this life, but in the grand scheme of eternity. It is the ultimate promise that the universe is not indifferent, but just. Even the scientific scenarios, which lack a divine agent, tell us something about ourselves. They highlight our anxieties about our own destructive capabilities, as seen in the fears of nuclear war or runaway AI. They also underscore our growing awareness of our fragility, and our dependence on the delicate balance of our planetary ecosystem, as shown by the threats of climate change and asteroid impacts. These stories are a call to action, a warning that our survival is not guaranteed, and that our future is, to a large extent, in our own hands. They are modern parables about the need for wisdom and foresight. In the end, our fascination with the apocalypse is a fascination with transformation. Every story of an ending is also a story of a beginning. The New Jerusalem, the new Satya Yuga, or even a post-apocalyptic world rebuilt by survivors, they all represent the hope that what comes next will be better. These stories allow us to imagine a world cleansed of its current imperfections. They are the ultimate expression of our capacity to look beyond our present reality and dream of a different future. And in that shared dream, we find a common thread that connects every culture, every faith, and every human heart that has ever looked to the horizon and wondered, how will it all end?